Do you ever feel completely drained by people? The ones who provoke, manipulate, or just demand all of your energy? You argue, you explain yourself, you defend your choices, and by the end of it, you're just left exhausted and feeling powerless. What if I told you there's a secret the ancient Stoics knew? A way to turn strategic ignorance into your greatest superpower. Now, this isn't about being rude, cold, or disconnected. It's about something much deeper. It's the disciplined art of refusing to fight battles that were only meant to distract you from your own life. It's about finally realizing that your attention is a precious, finite resource, and where you invest it literally determines the quality of your life. The world is just full of noise, opinions, and judgment. And most people waste their lives reacting to it all, getting pulled in every direction by what other people say and think, and losing their peace of mind along the way. But the Stoics, from the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius to the former slave Epictetus, they found a different path. They understood that real power doesn't come from winning arguments or controlling what others think of you. It comes from mastering yourself. It comes from building an inner fortress so strong that the chaos of the outside world can't even touch your peace. Today, we're going to explore how to get your inner peace and personal power back by learning the Stoic art of ignoring people. We'll unpack the ancient wisdom that teaches you how to protect your energy, stay focused on what matters, and build an unbreakable mind. This isn't just philosophy, it's a practical guide to mental freedom. So, if you appreciate this kind of thinking, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Your support lets us keep creating content that helps you build a stronger, more resilient mind. Now, let's begin. Section 1. The dichotomy of control, your first line of defense. So, where do we start? How do you actually begin to use this power? It all begins with the bedrock of all Stoic practice, the dichotomy of control. The philosopher Epictetus taught a simple but life-changing rule. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. What's up to us? Our thoughts, our judgments, our choices, and our actions. What's not up to us? Pretty much everything else. What other people say, what they think, their jealousy, their praise, their provocations, you get the idea. The Stoics argued that most of our unhappiness comes from one simple mistake: trying to control what we can't while neglecting the very things we can. Think about it. When someone insults you, your first instinct is probably to feel hurt or angry and to fire back. But their words, their opinion, that's external. You can't control what comes out of their mouth. What you can control is your judgment about those words and how you choose to respond. This is where ignoring becomes a strategic weapon. When you choose to ignore a provocation, you're not being passive. You are making an active, powerful choice to focus only on what's yours to manage, your own inner state. You're refusing to hand over the keys to your emotional well-being to someone else. Epictetus was blunt about what happens when you get this wrong. You will lament, you will be disturbed, and you will find fault both with gods and men. Imagine your mind as a peaceful garden. Every time you react to negativity, it's like you're letting someone throw rocks and weeds over the fence. The dichotomy of control teaches you to stop worrying about the person throwing the rocks. You can't control them, and instead focus on tending your garden. You choose not to let those rocks take root. Ignoring the provocation is the act of protecting your garden. It's a declaration that no one is responsible for your emotions but you. You stop being a puppet whose strings are pulled by what other people say and do. This one shift in perspective is the first step to taking back your power. Section 2. Starve the fire, attention fuels manipulation. Provocateurs, manipulators, and people who are always negative have one thing in common. They feed on your reaction. Your attention is their oxygen. When you argue with them, defend yourself, or get drawn into explaining, you're not solving anything, you're just fueling the fire. The Stoics knew that attention is the currency of the mind, and you have to spend it wisely. Strategic ignorance is how you cut off the fuel supply. Think of it like a small fire. If you keep adding kindling and logs, it roars into an inferno. But if you just step back and give it nothing, it eventually burns itself out. The same is true for toxic people. When someone tries to drag you into their drama, your emotional response, your anger, your frustration, your need to be right, that's the kindling. By refusing to engage, you starve the fire. Your silence is destabilizing to people who thrive on conflict. Your calm indifference becomes a mirror, forcing them to face their own behavior instead of hiding behind your reaction. Seneca, a great Stoic writer, called anger a brief madness. He argued that the best cure for anger is delay. When you're provoked, the most powerful thing you can do is just pause. In that pause, you create a space between what happened and how you respond. That's where you find your freedom. You can see the provocation for what it is, just a bid for your energy, and you can choose to decline the invitation. This isn't about suppressing your emotions, it's about regulating them. You can acknowledge the feeling, that flash of anger or irritation, but you don't have to let it control your actions. You let it pass through you, without giving it something to burn. Often, people who are insecure about their own lives criticize others to feel better. Your success might remind them of their inaction. Your discipline might highlight their lack of it. When they try to pull you down, they're really just showing you their own inner turmoil. Once you understand this, their words lose their sting. Ignoring them isn't personal, it's tactical. You're simply refusing to play a game you were never meant to win, a game designed only to drain you. Section 3. The power of silence. Let your actions argue for you. In a world that pressures us to have an opinion on everything and defend our every move, silence has become a revolutionary act. Most people feel like they need to explain themselves, to justify their choices, to correct every little misunderstanding. But the Stoics taught that real strength is found in letting your actions speak for you. Your character isn't built with words, it's forged by your deeds. When you're misunderstood or criticized unfairly, the urge to jump in and clarify is huge. You want to set the record straight. But what if you resisted that urge? What if, instead of launching into a long defense, you just stayed quiet and continued to live by your principles? This is the discipline of silence. It's not the silence of weakness or giving in, but the silence of confidence. It communicates that you're so secure in your own path that you don't need anyone else's approval. You understand that people will believe what they want to believe, and no amount of arguing is going to change a mind that's committed to misunderstanding you. Trying to convince them is just a waste of your most precious resources, your time and your energy. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "How much time he gains who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only at what he does himself, to make it just and holy." That's the core of it. Focus on your own path. While other people are caught up in the drama of gossip and judgment, you're busy building your life. While they are talking, you are doing. And in the long run, the results of your actions will be a much more powerful argument than any words you could have ever said. Think about the lion and the barking dogs. The lion doesn't turn around when a small dog barks at its heels. It stays focused on its destination, unbothered by the noise. Your purpose is your destination. The petty criticisms and provocations are just the barking dogs. If you turn and engage with them, you lower yourself to their level and you lose sight of your goal. By practicing strategic silence, you adopt the lion's mindset. You protect your focus, you save your energy, and you command a quiet respect that a loud reaction never could. Section 4. Selective engagement. Choosing your battles wisely. Now, ignoring people, in the Stoic sense, doesn't mean you become a hermit or shut yourself off from the world. It's not about avoiding all human connection. Instead, it's the art of selective engagement. It's having the wisdom to know the difference between destructive noise and constructive feedback, between battles worth fighting and those that are just designed to drain your spirit. Think of your attention like a spotlight. You only have one, and its beam is limited. You can shine it on every little shadow and every distracting noise, or you can focus it intensely on what actually matters: your growth, your relationships, your purpose. A wise person knows that not every battle deserves their presence. Some arguments lead nowhere, some criticisms are meaningless, and some people are just committed to being negative no matter what you do. So, how do you decide where to point your spotlight? The Stoics give us a clear filter: virtue and reason. Ask yourself, will this conversation lead to growth or understanding? Is this criticism actually meant to help, or is it just someone else's insecurity talking? Does getting into this fight align with my core values, or is it just a distraction? Seneca made it clear that we shouldn't become cold or unfeeling. You can help people and be kind without getting emotionally hijacked by their drama. You can listen to someone's problems without absorbing all their negativity. You can offer help without becoming a casualty of their chaos. This takes setting firm boundaries. And a boundary isn't a wall, it's a filter. It lets the good stuff in, like genuine connection and constructive advice, while keeping the bad stuff out. Practicing selective engagement means you become a smart investor of your own energy. You start auditing your interactions. Who leaves you feeling energized and inspired? And who leaves you feeling drained and small? You consciously choose to invest more time with the first group and strategically withdraw your attention from the second. This isn't about judging people. It's about curating your own life so you can be peaceful and effective. You're not responsible for fixing everyone, but you are responsible for protecting your own mind. Section 5. The Inner Citadel, Building Unshakable Peace. Ultimately, the power to ignore people isn't just an external trick. It's the natural result of building a strong inner world. The Stoics called this your inner citadel, a fortress inside your mind that can't be touched by external chaos. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you have a strong inner citadel, you no longer depend on others for your self-worth. Their opinions, good or bad, just become data points, not verdicts on your value. You stop seeking approval, and because of that, you stop fearing disapproval. This is the ultimate freedom. Building this fortress is a daily practice. It's built with self-reflection, like journaling about your reactions. It's fortified with practices like negative visualization, imagining worst-case scenarios, like being disrespected or criticized, so you can mentally rehearse a calm response and rob those events of their power over you. It's strengthened every single time you choose to respond with reason instead of just reacting with raw emotion. When someone ignores or disrespects you, a person with a weak inner citadel feels hurt. They take it personally, thinking it says something is wrong with them. But a person with a strong inner citadel understands that the other person's behavior is a reflection of their character, their limitations, and their inner world. As Marcus Aurelius put it, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. The harm isn't in what happened, but in your judgment of it. By detaching your self-worth from what other people do, you become untouchable. Their provocations can't find a hook to grab onto. Their insults slide right off your armor. Their drama becomes like a storm raging outside your fortress walls. You can see it, but it cannot shake you. This is the ultimate power of Stoic ignorance. It's not about the other person at all. It's about cultivating such a deep sense of inner peace and self-reliance that nothing and no one can ever take it from you. You become the master of your own soul, and in doing so, you become truly free. Before we wrap up, if this guide to Stoic strength is resonating with you, take a second to like this video and drop ignore in the comments below to affirm your commitment to reclaiming your peace. It tells us this content is making a difference and helps more people who need to hear this message find it. Conclusion. What we've talked about today is so much more than just walking away from difficult people. It's a total shift in your mindset from being a reactor in a world of chaos to being the creator of your own inner peace. It's realizing that the most underestimated power you have is the ability to withdraw your attention and reclaim your own mind. Through the Stoic lens, ignoring isn't weakness. It's an act of incredible strength and discipline. It starts with understanding the dichotomy of control, where you focus your energy only on what's actually yours to manage your own mind and actions. It's practiced by starving the fire of conflict and refusing to fuel manipulation with your reactions. It's embodied in the power of silence, where you let your character and your actions do the talking for you. It's refined through selective engagement, where you wisely choose which battles deserve your energy. And finally, it's all held together by building your inner citadel, an unshakable core of self-worth that makes you immune to the noise of the world. Living this way isn't easy. It takes constant practice and self-awareness. But every time you choose not to react, every time you protect your focus, every time you let go of needing approval, you become stronger, calmer, and more powerful. You stop being a leaf blown around by the wind and become the mountain that stands firm in the storm. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius, ignoring what goes on in other people's souls, no one ever came to grief that way. But if you won't keep track of what your own soul's doing, how can you not be unhappy? Protect your energy, protect your focus, and remember that the less you react to what doesn't matter, the more powerful your life becomes. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe for more lessons on building a powerful and peaceful mind. Until next time, stay strong and stay focused.